Hi everyone. Today's lecture is an introduction to JavaScript, and I wouldn't call it exactly an introduction because it will be sort of a brief overview. We'll go through most things except for the OOP in JavaScript. So going through data types, variables, conditional statements, and so on. But we are gonna go through them very quickly from the perspective of someone who knows another language. In your case, it's C sharp. But yeah, if you need like a quick lecture on JavaScript in general when you're coming from another programming language, then this one could be good for you, and it could save you a lot of time reading through and watching like long tutorials and so on. So we'll start with what is JavaScript, JavaScript pros and cons, the weird JavaScript stuff. I promised you this lecture last time, and I've got some very interesting stuff that you can do with JavaScript. To be honest, I didn't even have to try hard to find those, and I stopped after the 12th weird thing. So we'll see a lot of those, including JavaScript in your project. So instead of doing it with Visual Studio this time, we are gonna download and install WebStorm. Which I believe for web development is a bit better, and we'll see how easy it is to set it up and run it and make a project and so on. Okay, after that we'll go through the regular stuff that we did with C sharp. So data types and variables, operators and expressions, conditional statements, loops, arrays, functions, and objects. I really am not going to go into much detail about this. I'll go through them with a very simple example. Most of them are the same as in C sharp, and I'm gonna spend more time discussing the differences rather than re-explaining everything how it works again. So you already know what a for loop is, and it works the same way as in JavaScript. So there is no point of explaining what it does, how does it work, and so on. So just like a brief example to for you to see how you write in JavaScript, and I guess you'll be fine. There are some differences, but I am gonna mention them as we go. Alright, so first up, what is JavaScript? This is a front-end scripting language, and the front-end has a star here because JavaScript can now be used for pretty much anything you want. So if you want to build up a server, you can use Node.js with JavaScript. If you want to make games, you can make you can use a JavaScript library and so on. So it's normally used, and the most common usage is for front-end user interface on your website, but as I said, you can use it for anything these days. It is embedded in your HTML page. So the same thing that we did with the CSS last time, where we write some CSS and we put it in our HTML page. The same thing you can do with the JavaScript. It's interpreted by the browser, meaning that you don't have to compile it. There are no exe files or anything. It's just interpreted straight away. So scripting language. Also, JavaScript is the most popular programming language in the world, since it's so flexible and you can do so many things with it. And I guess most importantly, websites are normally done either with PHP or JavaScript, and that's what makes it really popular. Right, let's go into the pros and cons. By the way, if you have any questions as I'm going, feel free to ask, because the only language that you know is C sharp, and probably some of you know C++. This could be a bit weird at first because it's not that. It doesn't have that many functions. Some of the things are a bit weird. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to help, or Google search if I don't know the answer. Okay, so pros. It's lightweight, it's powerful, it's simple, easy to learn, and there are lots of open source libraries. So anything these days that you need, you can find as a JavaScript library, and there are normally tons of them, and I'll show that in a second. Also, it's great for UI. So the next course, which is going to be in Phaser, if you try to make the user interface with Phaser, you're not limited by any means, but it's going to be a lot harder. So if you're making an HTML5 game, I would suggest that you write your user interface, like main menu, buttons, and so on, everything except the game. I would suggest that you make it in HTML with CSS and JavaScript. For the purposes of the next course, we are not going to do that. We are going to type everything in Phaser because the idea is for you to learn it, how it works, what's the logic behind Phaser, and so on. So yeah, just a couple of examples: graph theory, library, or just JavaScript. So there is one. There is another one. And here is a Stack Overflow question, which I assume is going to give us more. So you can use this one, you can try it out, you can download it, you can include it in your project. You can download that one, see which one you like better, depending on what you want to use it for. And here you can find a lot more. So as you can see, quite a bit. And yeah, I guess this one came up first, so it's the most popular, but not always you have to include something big with lots of functionality. Just you may need something really simple, and then just download that. Other things, so game engines, JavaScript, and I think this was the website that I wanted to show. If it's not, I'll search it again. So yeah, these are only some of the game engines that you can use to make games for with JavaScript. The one that we're gonna use is this one. I haven't tried all of the others, but Phaser is really good and it works really well. And if we are actually order them by rating instead of popularity, it's actually going pretty much further down, or third. Phaser uses Pixie.js, so there are some similarities there. I haven't used that one. I haven't used that one, but I don't know. The one that we've chosen, I think it's really good. But once you learn one of them, and that's the point. Once you learn one of them, then the rest will be just different names of functions, and it wouldn't be that much difficult to transfer from one to the other. Normally they have standard game engine stuff like physics, tweens, and stuff like that. Things that you've seen probably in monogame as well. But I believe in Phaser it's a lot easier. So if I have to compare monogame to Phaser, Phaser is a lot easier, and that's not because of JavaScript versus C#, more of the way of how you structure it, how the things work, how easy it is to set up a project, to start typing your code straight away. With that, I think Phaser beats it. Right. Okay, then we have cons, and here I've put dots because there are a lot of them, and you'll see some of them in a second. So limited functionality. But this can be easily ignored, the first one, because there are so many libraries. You can download pretty much anything that you may need ever for that. But the built-in functions and data types and so on, they're not that much in comparison to C#. Alright, strange behavior, and this is what we are going to focus on the next slide, which is this one. So it really behaves strangely sometimes, and it could lead to some errors, and you have no idea how to check them, and so on. Terrible object-oriented programming. This is to be fixed in ECMAScript 6, so like a new version of JavaScript. They're gonna fix it there. And it's gonna make life a lot easier. It's fine if you don't have object-oriented language when you make websites and stuff. But once you have to make games, where we have to follow some logic, and even if it's like a really big game, some ones we've seen online, but I cannot think of examples. Imperia Online, that was big. Has anyone played it? Imperia Online. That's a huge game, and it's online. And can you imagine like doing everything? It's not going to be in a single class, but since you don't have, well, you do have, but it looks terrible. The object-oriented programming in JavaScript, it would be a nightmare to change the code, to add some new features, and so on. For this, because of this, we are going to use TypeScript, which is one step closer to C#, and it has a lot of cool features. But that's going to be in another lecture in the next course. Functionality differs through browsers, and in this specific lecture I'll show you, or at least I'll tell you about one new function in JavaScript that only works in I think in a couple of browsers. So you have to be really careful with what you use, and if your game has to run on multiple browsers, you always have to take that in mind. And arrays are not really arrays, and once we go to this slide, I'll explain why. Arrays in JavaScript are something very, very weird, which even today I have no idea what it is. Like, I don't know. You see. Alright, so the weird JavaScript stuff, but before that I would like to download WebStorm, and this lecture is going to be on WebStorm, and I'll show you how to install it. And actually I don't want to close this one, I want to close these ones. So let's go to WebStorm on Google, click here, download. Have I downloaded it last lecture? I guess I did, or I didn't. I didn't, so let's download it now. So download WebStorm. Right there. This is big, so I'm just gonna pause the video until this thing downloads. Alright, so let's click here and wait, I guess. Next. I agree, and I've read absolutely everything here, as always. Next. Create desktop shortcut. Oh yeah, why not? HTML, I don't want it to open HTML. JavaScript, no, probably not. JetBrains is fine. Okay, so let's wait for it to install. One student in our game academy, or actually two, haven't heard of Quake. If you haven't heard of Quake, please fix that right now. So Quake, for those of you, Quake Online. You can even play it online. That's how we got to the discussion. So Quake Live, you can just click here and play it in your browser. But yeah, Quake is a huge game. Right, so how are we here? Just a little bit more. Come on. I will tell a joke, but the ones that I know are pretty rough, and they're not for YouTube lectures. So okay, we're done. So just run it. It's gonna ask you for some settings and stuff like that. And no. License key, we would like to try it. So WebStorm is not free, but I think for students there is some accounts and so on. You have to contact, WebStorm and get it from there somehow. It wasn't even that expensive. I don't remember how much it was, but it wasn't even that expensive, and it's really, really good. So accept, and till August we are gonna need to use it a bit longer, but we'll see what we can do. Allow access, and now as it starts the first time, it's gonna ask you for some things. So I would like to use this theme and press OK. Actually, I don't want to preview it. I know what that is. ID appearance settings will apply it after. Yes. So create new project, empty. This is going to be called JavaScript info. Intro. Click create. Close that, we don't care. Right click here, and now you can add files, HTML, style sheet, JavaScript, TypeScript, which works really good. And this is a relatively new feature that works well. So they had it in version 9, I think, but there were some bugs and so on. Right now in WebStorm 10 it works really well. So we'll probably use that for the next course when we make the phaser games. Alright, so we can easily start typing here, but I wanted to show you that you can start typing JavaScript anywhere that you want in any page. So if in here I just press F12 to bring up this thing, I can go into console, which is right here, and right up here I can start typing JavaScript, and it's going to be valid and it's going to execute and so on. So the horrible stuff or the weird stuff that you can make in JavaScript, which is this slide, we are actually going to do in the browser. Can I dog this off? No. Does anyone know how to show drawer settings? Can I take this off? Sorry? Hold the little icon next to the X. This one. Oh yeah. Thank you very much. Right. Alright, so let's start doing some stuff, some weird stuff with JavaScript. And here I have them numbered and so on. So, right, the first thing, so this is for array. Can you see from back there, by the way? Yeah, sort of. No? Okay, so I'll try to zoom in. Do I have zoom it? Actually, let's check it this way. Yeah, I do. So I'll zoom in every time when I do something. So, okay, so this is an array. So these square brackets are for an array. So if I have an array with 4 and I multiply it with another array, which has a 4 in it, which is like multiplying arrays is what? We are going to get 16 straight up here. This is not that, if this is not that weird, so let's multiply an empty array with an empty array. What do you think the result is going to be? It's actually 0. It's not undefined, it's 0. Okay, so if we try to go on further and multiply an array with an object, so this is an object here with the curly brackets there, what do you think we are going to get? Not a number. So not a number is a thing in JavaScript. I don't remember, did we have something like this in C#? When we divided 0 by 0? I don't remember. So yeah, we did. Okay, so yeah. But apparently, you know, multiplying an array with an object gives you not a number. Also, since this thing works, an array of 4 and another array of 4, let's try and add some more 4s here. So 4 and 4 multiplied by 4 and 4. So this is an array with 2 elements and both of them are 4 and 4. What do you think is going to be the result? 2 16ths. Well, no, it's not a number as well, again, because JavaScript, you know. Alright, so here we got a 0, like 2 arrays. What is going to happen if I multiply 2 objects? What do you think is going to happen?
0.
Not a number. Actually, an error. Oh yeah, I got this today. So the website that I took this line from, they said that it was gonna be not a number, but apparently no, it's now it's just some error, some syntax error. All right, going further. So some of the demos are gonna be slightly longer, not on a single line. So this is one like. So local storage is how do I explain it? Well, if the browser or the website needs to keep something on your computer, as you know, data, if you've logged in or something similar. I'm not an expert. I just know that they use it, either this or cookies, I think, for that kind of information. Whether you're logged in, some information about, say, your score in the current game or something like that. So local storage is an array, I think. So I can say local storage of 0 equals false. Okay, and you know, we see that it's false. What happens now if I say if local, let me remove that, local storage of 0, then console.log, which is the equivalent of console.writeLine, and inside here I say is this going to be executed? What do you think is going to happen? Well, it's not going to be the obvious thing, which is just going to skip the if, clearly, otherwise I wouldn't be showing this. It actually executes here. Can one guess why? Because this is JavaScript. Well, yes, but there is a logic behind it here, at least. There is a logic behind all of these lines here, but I wouldn't be bothered to explain all of them. Just this one is kind of interesting, I think. Maybe the default is false. So no. So let's see what's actually in local storage of zero. And it's turned it into a string. So the local storage only keeps strings. It's turned into a string, and the string false, since it's not an empty value here, it is just gonna say, well, I do have a value, so I'm just gonna execute what's after that. It's a bit weird. Once we get to statements and the weird stuff there, you understand better, I think. All right. So another thing, type of null. It says object, okay, and null means like if you want to initialize an empty array or something, it has a value of null, I think. But yeah, type of null is object, and what is going to happen if I say null equals object? And it's going to say false. You may wonder, why do I type it with 3 equal signs? That's going to become apparent later. I'll explain that later as well. But even if I type it with 2, it's going to say false as well. So it's both an object, so its type is object, and normally you want to think that everything in JavaScript, the same as with C#, everything is object, right? So the object is the parent of all things in JavaScript and C#. Well, null is not an object for some reason. It's false. All right, so what else? Type. This is actually quite funny. Type of none. None is not a number. What do you think is going to happen here if I type this? No, so one suggestion was not a number, the other one was object. It is, if you didn't know, it's a number. Right. How cool is that? Why not? And another interesting thing, which I don't know if I've seen anywhere, not a number equals not a number. This is going to be false. Yeah, because why not? Actually, to check if something is not a number, there was a function is not a number, and here I just have to say not a number. I think this is going to give you true, yeah. So you can check it if you have to check if something, for some reason, for some weird reason, if something is not a number, you have to check it with this is none. So if we check is none of, does anyone know if I can zoom? Oh, right. This is so much better. Right, so is none of 5 is going to be false. Is none of null, interesting, is going to be false as well. You know, you can try all of that, but I think the only thing that gives true here is actually not a number, or some expression or variable which evaluates to not a number. All right, what else we have here? So let me refresh so that we, actually all of these I wanted to save in a demo, but yeah, well, actually why not? So new array. This is how you create an array. It's not rocket science. If I evaluate this to false, I mean, if I want to check if it equals false, what do you think is going to happen? Actually, first, you know, this check is really weird. You make an array and you check it against either true or false. But the weird things are just starting, so brace yourself. This is going to be true, because why not? Because it's JavaScript. You know, this is really easy, because all of the examples that I've picked are, you know, the opposite of what they should be. So every time when I try something with comparison, you will know what the answer is, or at least I hope you do. All right, so 0 equals false. What do you think is that gonna give? This is gonna be true, okay? What happens if I do it with the 3 equal sign? This is gonna be false, because it checks both the type and the value as well. So 0 as in C++ and C, I think 0 evaluates to false and 1 evaluates to true as well. But the weird thing is that here it depends on how many equal signs you use. So yeah, kind of weird. All right, what else do I have? So I tried this earlier and it didn't work, but I'll try that again. So var some variable, just declare it, and it's going to be undefined as it says down here. And if I want to check now, some var equals undefined, that's true, right? Everything is fine. But what's going to happen if I say, well, undefined equals I am not undefined? You can actually change the value of undefined, which is weird. And now if I want to check some var equals undefined, I still get true. And if I check it 3 times, maybe true. That's weird. Yeah, so in the example that I checked, it was giving false. So once you change the value of undefined, but you know, this is weird enough that if I type undefined, it's going to be undefined, but I can still give a value. So you know, sorry, some var undefined as well. Right, this one didn't work, so my sources are wrong, but I told you beforehand that this one didn't work. So alright, so coming on to the cooler parts, and there are just a couple of more, but you know, they're the bump. Okay, so x equals empty array with 0, and then if I want to compare x with x, what do you think is going to happen? Anyone? True, right? Because I just compared the same elements, it's fine. But what's going to happen if I compare x with not x? That's going to be true as well. Or if you don't want to see the brackets, it's still going to be true, because why not? All right. Sorry, you missed C# already. You will do, I guess, at some point. No, actually, we're only going to have two lectures, and your homework is not that big for this and the other one on JavaScript. After that, we'll go to TypeScript, and well, you can do the same stuff with TypeScript, but normally you wouldn't have to compare an array with not an array, right? So all of these things are weird, but you wouldn't use any of these in normal programming, or sometimes if you want to hack something, but still you should be careful. All right, what else? Array of 3. So this means array with 3 elements and not an array which has a 3, equals to this. Sorry? Yeah, so this is just a string with 2 commas. That's true. That's true. And in fact, it is true. Okay, if I say three times, it's going to be false now, because, you know, they're different, but still, you know, an array of 3 elements equals to some string with two commas. It's a bit weird. Actually, I wanted to try if I put another comma here. Well, now it's false, you know. Sorry, yeah, if I put 4 here, it will be true. What else? Okay, so if you put in some numbers here, it's gonna just print them out, but watch a bit more carefully, and a bit more, and I guess a bit more, maybe a bit more, and bam, just out of nowhere it becomes 1 with many zeros. This is because of type overflow. It just gives you a random value. The another interesting thing is here, if I put +1, what do you think is gonna happen? Sorry? The same? Yeah. If I put -1? Sorry, -1 here. Okay, here is a trick question. %2. 1 or 0? It's one or the other. It's gonna be 0 again, because why not? False. Okay, false. Yeah, we can try that. So equals false. This is false, and now this is equal to true. Yeah, okay. Sure. This one is in C# as well, I think. 0.1 plus 0.2 equals 0.3. True or false? False. Right, so let me check if that's gonna explain it to you, because we've seen that. Nope. So here it's the precision. So this 0.3 is actually 0.3000000 and some 4 in the end. So this is like a rounding error. But if I type something like 0.1 plus 0.2 minus 0.3 less than 0.00001, this should now be true. You know, it's just a rounding error. Okay, what else? But again, you will need that kind of precision in JavaScript, and even if you do, I'm sure that there is a library for that somewhere. Okay, and to the more interesting stuff, actually there are 2 more, and those 2 are my favorites. So yeah, math.max bigger than math.min. And since these are my favorite, this is going to be false. And if we actually check what math.max is, we can't. That's weird. Function max. Var, like a variable, bracket. Okay, minus infinity. So the maximum number in maths is minus infinity for some reason. And if you want to check the same for min, it's gonna be infinity. Yeah, mind blown. And this one is my favorite one, and I've put it last. So true plus true. Okay, I don't want to give it out. What do you think I am gonna type next? Is gonna be a comparison. So what do I want to compare this with? Equals 2. So let's check that. What do you think is going to be evaluated here? It is true. Because, you know, true is evaluated to 1 and so on. All right, that's good. True minus true equals 0. What do you think is going to happen? True as well, right? It's like a 1, right? It's like 1 plus 1 equals 2, and then 1 minus 1 equals 0. And here the magic comes on this line. True equals 1, and that is false. Yeah. So yeah, this is all from the weird stuff in JavaScript. But again, all of these. Actually, I'm gonna save that. That's so I'm gonna copy all of that, and I'm gonna put it in here. Weird JavaScript stuff. And I'm just gonna paste all of that. No one is gonna understand, but I'm gonna keep it anyways. Right. What is the problem here? JavaScript users. Oh, I have some errors. Oh yeah, unexpected token here. Yeah, I'll fix that later, or not. I don't know. All right. Now that you've seen how weird that is, we're gonna transfer back, like take a step back and see that it's actually not that bad. Again, it's really simple. So if someone is just starting learning a programming language and he wants to get into it fast and so on, this is really good because of a couple of reasons. So including JavaScript in your project. Alright, so let's do that quickly as well. So inside here I have to create an HTML file, which is going to be, actually I'm going to copy that in a separate file. So Control C, and then yeah, I will do just in a second. So here I want to create a new text document, weird JavaScript, and now we include that in the demo as well. So Control V here, Control S. So yeah, let's delete that because we're not going to need it. So zooming in was a bit hard to find. So File, Settings, Editor, General, and yeah, change font size. So let me create a new file and then we'll see. So HTML file, index.html, and that good? All right. So right, so let's say here intro to JavaScript, and you can straight up write some JavaScript in here. So you need the script tag, and here I have to say type. Come on, equals text slash JavaScript. And inside here, I can straight in type some JavaScript. So what was your favorite one? Maybe true, or yeah, what was your favorite weird thing in JavaScript that we got? True equals 1. Okay, so let's type in that. And now when I execute it, it should work if I'm not doing something wrong. So inside here you will not see anything. You have to go to the developer console in here and forgot console log. Thank you very much. I was gonna search for that. I think there is a way if I type in here .log and it's gonna do it automatically. So instead of typing console log and so on, just type .log and it's gonna work. So let's play that again. Actually, this is the big bonus here that I just need to refresh the page. So let me just put that here. If I refresh the page, it's gonna work. I don't have to recompile every time working with Visual Studio. Okay, it's false, as we know. The other way is just to put it as a reference. So let's create a new JavaScript file. And the first demo is gonna be variables and data types. So I'll actually put a number, or can I not put a number? 1.variables and data types. So here I'm doing it with the C# notation. How are files called in JavaScript? Is it small letters? How would you call a JavaScript file? Small letters and dashes. That's what I thought. So variables and data types. Okay. So I have it here now, and let's copy the code from here that I have. Control C, and actually let's do something else here. Console.log. I like the one with the arrays, so this one as well. And let's include it into our project. So I'll delete that, and I can say script. That's not working, so just script and then tab. Inside here I have to say source equals, and it's smart WebStorm, and I can just press enter, and after that I have to say the same thing. So type equals text.javascript. Alright, and now if I run it again, I should remove that. If I press F5 again, now we got the second value as well. So this is how you include it in your project. It's very, very similar to the CSS. So you could have done also with the CSS, you could have had a tag style in here and type the CSS in there, or you could reference it externally from a file. And normally you have to do that. You have to always have separate JavaScript files and not put almost anything inside here in the index.html, especially when you have something like games with phaser. You don't need much. You just need to reference your classes, and your game is gonna run fine. What do you want? Typo in Word data types. Really? Data types. I have to put spaces, I guess. Data types. Yeah, I'm still gonna have an error here because they have to be separate, but yeah, I'll just leave it as is. Okay, so this is our first demo in WebStorm. It's gonna be data types and variables. So here there is a big difference with C#. JavaScript is a typeless language. The type of a variable can be changed, and another key difference is string can be declared with both a single quote and a double quote. We'll see that in a second. I think it's more commonly used to it's more common to use the single quote, but you can use both depending on how you're feeling comfortable with it. So in the JavaScript file, yeah. So sorry, zoom in. Yeah, sorry, zoom. All right. Let's delete that. We know that it works now. So there. And let's say var count equals 1. Right? This is valid in C# as well. Notice that here I don't have integers, I don't have string, I don't have pretty much anything here. Everything is declared with var. This is not the same in TypeScript, where you actually can give a type to your variable, but it's gonna work anyways. So var count equals 1, and let's just print it. Count.log. This I am gonna use a lot. I really like this. So let's go back here. Actually, is there a shortcut for me to play? Shortcut, please. Chrome Alt F2. Let's try Alt F2. There is a built-in console in here. Yeah, probably. So yeah, let's press F5. Variables and data types. Oh yeah, because I named it wrong. So let's change the value here. Rename. I don't see it. Refactor rename. This is going to be data types. Refactor. Let's try that again. Actually, I'm going to move this to the right. Okay, so it's 1. It prints fine. Everything is fine. But in here, I can say count equals some text. And I can print it again, so count.log, and if I go in here and press F5, we're going to get some text. So you can freely change the type of a variable, that's not a problem. And what else? Just 1 second. I can also change it to, so you have numbers, you have strings, which are fine. We can also get count equals floating point numbers, something like that. I can say count.log. By the way, the autocomplete is done with tab as well. I didn't mention this, but it's the same in C# as well. So in here, F5, 5.25, it's fine. I can change it to any type. Also, I can declare a number as count equals new number, and declare it this way, and it's going to be fine. So let's put a 0, and let's log it again. So count.log, and inside here we are going to get what? Primitive value 0. Temp1 dot. It should do the same thing, I believe, but in this case it just creates an object with value 0 or something. I don't know what that is actually. So yeah, just avoid that. You can do that. Actually, what happens if I put 5 here? Is it going to be different? Yeah, so pretty much the same. Sorry? Without new. Maybe that was my mistake. Yeah, so without new. Thanks for the correction. Yeah, and inside here I still have it with new, but yeah, it doesn't work. So yeah, just put number and then 5. Similar to what we've done with array. You know, array of 3 gives us an array of 3 elements. All right. Let's check what kind of types we actually have. So we said that it's typeless, but there are some built-in types that we can do. So if I do type of 5, it's a number. If I do type of number, it's going to be string. If I do type of any text, will be fine. If I do type of false, it's going to be Boolean. So you still have some data types, and I think the other one, let me check with an array, I'm not sure. Type of array with something, that's an object, and type of What else is there? Type of null is object. Type of undefined is undefined. Type of null. Oh, I actually tried now. There was one more. Not a number. Yeah, we tried that already. So yeah, why not? So you have those 5, I think. I don't think that there are any more unless I'm missing something. But you have a number. You have string, boolean, object, and undefined. And those are the types that you have, but you can easily switch between one and the other. And this is really simple because if you remember in C#, we had to parse values and so on, and that was, we had to have a bit more knowledge, a bit more to learn there, because you cannot transfer this easily between types. We could have done it with parsing, with typecasting, and so on, which is additional work and knowledge that you should have. All right, so let's delete these lines. Actually, I want to copy that and paste it down here. Actually, why did I do that? I have no idea. I wanted to make it tidier, but since this is going to be a demo online, then I should keep everything that I'm writing. So here I can comment the same way as in C#, also with the star. It's fine. So so this was declaring and changing types. The next one is converting to integer. So yeah, there is a parse int method, or int parse method. It was int.parse in C#, so here should be parse int method. So let's do something like that. So var var a equals 5.75, and I want to do 5.75 or 0.log, and that should convert it into a number, into an integer. So then press F5. Maybe here. Should have put it in string. Let me get back here. F5. Too much, maybe. Yeah, we got 5. So this is how you transfer with an or 0. This is how you can parse from a string to integer, and from floating point in the integer to an integer. And I am showing you this because this is really the fastest way to do this. And we can do even more weird things here. Actually, why did I even bother with this? Let me put some text here. 5.75 or 0 equals, and we are gonna get that. I have to put the plus sign here. There are no placeholders in C# as like the way that you know them from. There are no placeholders in JavaScript as you know them from C#. So I cannot say something like here 0 and then comma. This is not gonna work. But you can do it with a plus sign, which is gonna work fine. So let me check if everything is fine. No? Why are you not working? What did I do wrong? In brackets? Maybe. Yeah. Yeah, I guess actually. Yeah, in brackets. And what happened to my equal sign? Oh yeah, it's there. Everything is fine. The other way is to do parse int parent, not parent, parse int of 5.75, but this is considered to be slower. So let's say .log, and inside here parse int 5.75 equals, and am I missing a bracket? Plus, I'm missing the plus. F5. Yeah, it works as well. You can use this. So yeah, I'll show you one more thing which I believe is interesting. So let me copy that Actually, let me copy the one above. So I can do something like 1, 2, 3 XOR with 0, and shall I store it in a variable? I don't know. Let's try that now. See what happens. This is now 1, 2, 3, but I have to change here. So this is 1, 2, 3 XOR. Sorry, this is just OR 0. F5. Right. It's just 123, but this time it's not a string. It's actually a number. And if I wanted to say without the 0, it's gonna be shown as string or not. Huh, this is weird. Yeah, I have to store it in a variable now. So let's do var a equal var. I already have a, or I don't have a. Var a equals 1, 2, 3 as a string. 1, 2, 3 XOR 0. Actually, I wanted to show you this, and I'm just gonna say here plus a. So or just a, I guess it's gonna work better. Alright, so type of a is a string, as I said, and if I actually do it with the or 0, and I do it again, type of a is now a number, as I said. Alright, what else do we have? What if we have some letters? This is a good thing. So if I put something like this here, is that gonna work? What do you think is gonna happen? Exception. There are no exceptions. There are errors. Error. We get 0. Can I parse int? Parse int 1, 2, 3 AAA. I can do that. 1, 2, 3 AAA or 0. This is 0. Okay. So yeah, but I can do weird things with parse int. That's not a problem. So let's just put it here. Yeah, I'll try that as well. So console log, or just control V log. This is gonna be parse int of 1, 2, 3 AA. Okay, so you wanted to put parse int of 1, 2, 3 AA1. It's still 1, 2, 3. So I guess it takes everything after the first letter and then converts everything after that to string. Just picks its battles. Let's say it this way. All right. Just 1 second. Yeah, you can also do things like comparisons easily. So comparing variables. I can say var a again, why not, or let's call it b. Var b equals 1, var c equals let's say 2. I can log a bigger than b dot log. I can do just copy that here as well. I can also log a less than b dot log. Oh, they're B and C. So B and C, and down here B and C, and I can log also B equals C, and B equals C dot log 3 times. So let's have a look what's gonna happen. Alright, false, true, false, false. So the first one is false, the second one, b is less than c, is true, b equals to c is false, and this one is false as well. So yeah, pretty much the same thing as in C sharp. Is there anything else? If I compare a string to a number. I would say that this is going to be false, but I can never be sure. So I'll put it in both. Yeah, it's still the same. Yeah, I just bigger than or less than. You want to put it here. I don't know. Let's check. Yeah, it's still some random false here and there. I have no idea. Okay. Right. The last one is that you can concatenate strings the same way that you normally do with that you normally do in C sharp. So concat strings. I can do it. I don't know, var str equals hi, and I can say str equals str plus everyone. I don't know, maybe with a space plus exclamation mark, and then I can log str. Yeah, so it works the same way. So many of the things are similar for the data types and variables, but you know, you just have to know that it's a typeless language. You don't get any errors, or you can get some errors, but they're never descriptive. And no matter what kind of mistakes you do, and no matter how you write it, it's still gonna execute in your browser. So keep that in mind. It's just sort of makes it to work. I don't even have to put these things here, the semicolon. I don't even have to put that, and it's still gonna work fine, as always. So yeah, just bear that in mind, and yeah. But everything else, like everything else for the data types, the way you operate with them, the way you add them, the way you change values, and so on, it's pretty much the same. I would like to have a short break, and then we'll continue. We have lots of things to cover today. Right, so next up is operators and expressions. These are roughly the same as in C sharp. I forgot what I was gonna say. Yeah, and in normally all programming languages, or at least in most of them, you'll see, you know, all of the operators that we know from C sharp, including the binary operators, also the bitwise ones for assignment, comparison, conversion. The ternary operator is also here. You can use that as well. And yeah, also, yeah, the one thing that's a bit different, comparison should be done with the three equal signs, because that means they compares both the value and the type. So if I compare something like true equals to 1, if I do it with two equal signs, that should give me a true. I'm not sure, but you know, you can get some errors like this. So just to check, if I compare this to 0, it's going to be true. If I compare an array with 0 this way, now it's going to give me false. So if you want to, you know, make sure that your conditional statements are all right, just use triple equal sign, and really don't ever use the double equal sign. It has to be some very dirty hack for someone to use you know, the double equal signs, and that for that to matter for the end result. All right, I'll create a new file here. This is going to be JavaScript operators, two dot operators and expressions. I have to include it here as well, so just type in script, inside here source, 2 dot, why is it not showing 2 dot operators and script, okay, operators and expressions, type is going to be text JavaScript. And here, well, what do you want to do? Let me zoom that in as well. Var a equals 5, var b equals 7, and we can do all of the usual things that you would know. So a divided by b dot log, also a percent, or more like b percent a dot log, a plus b dot log, and so on. Like all of them, I'm not gonna list all of them. It's gonna work with you know, binary operators, whatever you want to use. It's pretty much the same. The only difference is the one with the equal sign, which I think it's kind of important to mention. So right now, if what should I do? I guess I should comment on all of that. So Control KC is not going to work here. You have to press Control / and normally the shortcuts are different, but there are some really cool ones, and maybe I'll show you some in the next lecture, because I don't know them now, all of them. So let me play it here again. Right, so that was a divided by b, then a b percent a, and then we had a plus b. So all of them are gonna work as usual. But yeah, if you have any questions here, I would be happy to answer. Yeah, pretty much the same. Conditional statements, so if else, if, and switch case statements are all used in the same way as in C#. One key difference is that every type has an inherited Boolean value. So this was one of the reasons why we got some weird results in the first demo for the weird JavaScript stuff. Every value, every type in C#, every type in JavaScript has an inherited Boolean value, and evaluated to false are false. This is a Boolean. 0, the empty string, null, undefined, and not a number. So all of these are evaluated to false. Everything else is evaluated to true. And this is why I'm allowed to do something like the empty array or the empty string to be equal to 0, and I'm gonna get true as a result. So if I do that here, just real quick, if I say 0 equals empty string, that's true even if I use the triple sign. Oh, actually no, if I use the triple sign, it also checks the type. So this one is of type number, and this is of type string. So this is gonna evaluate to false. But normally, actually I want to check this as well. False, null, false as well, undefined, false. Yeah, they're all gonna work, but if I do something like this, actually it was with null, I think. False as well. What is happening? 0 equals to 0 this way. Now this is true. And yeah, I know it's a bit of a weird. I don't remember all of the things, so if I need something, I just test it. But bear in mind that everything evaluates to a Boolean variable. And is there anything here that I wanted to show? Yeah, so you can do you can write your code pretty much the same way as with actually I'll make a new JavaScript file here. JavaScript is going to be 3 conditional statements, and I'm gonna include it here as well. So script space src equals number 3 and type equals text JavaScript. Alright, so by the same way, if you want to check something simple, like I have to zoom in as well. So var a equals, I don't know, 5, and then I can check if I don't have the tap here, which I was so used to, but I'll just do it by hand. %2 equals 1 odd and .log. And one key difference is that brackets are always put on the opening bracket is always put on the same line. This is just styling. I personally am not a fan at all of this, but you know, this is how you type it in JavaScript. I can also do it this way, but WebStorm is gonna auto correct me as soon as I try to do something else. And of course I can do else, just like that, and I can do console.log, can say even, and in this case we are gonna get the odd here. So if I press F5, we get the odd. If I change this to a 6, then we get even. So it works pretty much the same way. And if I want to do something with else if, so something like, I don't know, I'm a bit out of ideas. Anything with else if? Maybe divided by 3. 0, this is gonna be remainder 0, else if a %3 equals to 1, remainder 1, or I can say just else remainder 2 .log. Okay, so now 6, I should be getting this remainder 0. If I change this to a 7, I am gonna get remainder 1, and 8 should give me a remainder of 2. Pretty much the same. Switch cases work the same way, the syntax is the same, so I'm not gonna show that. One thing that I'm pretty sure it's not available in C# is I can check just this, if a, and inside here I'm really not used to, I don't type JavaScript every day, so bear with me. So if a console.log, this means that a exists or a is defined, and if I do something like if b console.log b is defined, else b is undefined .log. So yeah, the idea is that here you can check if something exists just by saying if and then the value here. So sorry, what if the value was 0? We'll check that in a second as well. But the point is, here I am gonna enter in this if, and it's gonna say if it's gonna say a is defined, b here is not, and it's gonna say b is not defined unless I've used it somewhere around here, and I actually did. So control / all of that. Okay, so right now it even says here unresolved variable or type b, but we should still be getting into the else, which is going to mean that b is not defined, or I get an error. So let me put var b here. Okay, so a is defined because it had a value, and b is undefined because I didn't give it a value. If here I say something like I don't know, ABC, I am still gonna get in, right? And this is what we meant by every variable is evaluated to a boolean, and if you don't have a value, or it's b is undefined or something, it's you can just put it in the if statement as well. So the question was, what's gonna happen with 0? Are we gonna say a is defined or not? What do you think? Sorry, it's gonna be undefined. Actually, let me put it here as well. A is undefined .log. I would say, since we have given it a value, I would expect this to be true, and it's undefined. Zero, yeah, we said that in the previous slide. So 0, empty string, empty array, and so on, they're all evaluate to false. I don't know. This is weird to me. Sorry? In our if statement, the a which is equivalent to no, but yeah, but here it's 0 and should be a number. So if I say here something like type of a is a number, right? It's not null. Is null a number? Type of, I already checked that. It's an object, so no, it's not that. Yeah, I don't know. It's just JavaScript. There are no excuses for if b. Can you imagine, like, checking if something exists? You just say if bunny, and that's it, and you have to guess what the rest means. So here we break one of the principles of quality code, that the if statement, your mother who doesn't speak English, or no, sorry, your mother who speaks English should be able to read it. In this case, she wouldn't be able to, because what does it mean if bunny, or if, I don't know, if spaceship or something? It's a bit weird. All right, keep going. A lot of things to cover. So yeah, after that we have the loops. So I have while, do while, for in, which is sort of like for each, but not quite. They're used the same way as in C#. I mean, the syntax is the same. For in iterates over the indices of an array or over the properties of an object, which is a bit weird. So if you have like a bunny with name, age, and breed, and so on, it's gonna iterate through the properties as well. Although it's not a collection, technically speaking, it's an object. So yeah, and for of is a new statement, so it means that it was put in JavaScript fairly recently, and it works pretty much like the for each in C#, but it's not supported by all browsers, and no one knows when that is going to happen. So avoid using that. There are better ways to do that. So let's do here. The demos here are going to be slightly more, just to show you that it's pretty much the same, and we're going to look at the for in and for of loop as well in a bit more depth. So new JavaScript file. This is going to be for loops, and I would like to get back here control slash to comment everything, and I think control slash again to uncomment as well. So index.html, let's say script here, source equals number 4 loops, type equals JavaScript text. And by the way, I didn't mention, but when you put script, the script tag this way with the source, anything that you write in here is not gonna execute. So I cannot do something like var 5. This thing shouldn't work. Yeah, nothing is gonna be executed there. Because it has a source and it takes everything from there. All right, we are up to loops. All right, so what should we do first? First zoom in, of course. While loops. Okay, so var counter equals 0, and or more like, yeah, 0. While counter less than 10, we want to do something, log console.log number plus counter, and down here I can say counter plus plus, and that should print me the numbers from 0 to 9. Let's make them a bit smaller, so let's play that. Numbers 0 through 4. What else we have? We have the do while loop. So let's do something with factorial. So var n equals 5, var factorial equals 1 as its initial value. Factorial string equals this way, I think. I had to say var. Alright, and then do. There had to be some autocomplete here, but I really don't know how that was. Do you know? Sorry, the autocomplete. No, there was one, and there was actually, let's check it. For autocomplete WebStorm. Control space. Control space. Thank you. Anyways, I'll look it up and I'll let you know. So yeah, inside here, factorial equals factorial times n. We want to say factorial string plus equals n times. Sorry, this is not true. N? No. What is it that I want to do? N plus times, I think, is what I have here. Yeah. Then n minus minus, and here while n. And here what we're using is that once n gets to 0, this while is gonna evaluate to false, and we're gonna get out of the loop. But I can easily say here equals 0, or less than or equal to 1, and so on. But we can just leave it as n. While n, very explanatory. While n, and just finally I want to say factorial string plus equals. Just 1 second, because I'm reading the code off. So plus factorial, we want to actually have the result, and down here we can say factorial string dot log. So what we're doing, starting from 5, we have our product here, and we have some string, and we're gonna put we're gonna add the values as we go, and the result as well in the end, and then we just print it off. But the other syntax is pretty much the same, with this one key difference that we can just say while n. So yeah, in here, or not there, F5 120, and I think that that's correct, or not. Yeah, it is correct. All right, what else do we have? So let me put those. We have a simple for loop. So for var I equals 0, I less than, I don't know, 10, I plus plus, and inside here I can just say I.log. Works perfectly. What else can we do? So here I should mention that declaring the I inside the for is slower than if I declare it outside, say just var I, and then here I say for I equals 0 to less than 10. I don't want to test this now, just trust me that it's faster. If you want to, you can check it up online. It's similar to the conversion of a string to a number and a floating point to a number, but yeah, so this one is faster. So let's see. You won't be able to tell the difference because this is just a for loop with 10 iterations, but yeah, it is going to be faster for others. What else do we have? We have var. Actually, let's print this as well. Var r from array equals 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We haven't studied the arrays yet, but this is just a collection of numbers. And now what I want to do is the for in loop. So for, and inside here I want to say var value in r, and I want to say just print. So I want to say console value.log. Okay, what do you think is going to happen here? And I mentioned this on the slides, but I guess no one was paying attention. Okay, so if we were in C#, it would print here 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. But in fact, when you're working with arrays, it just shows you the indices that are available inside the array. So if I actually want to use this, the for in loop, I have to say array of value, which is a bit weird. And if I try to do the for of loop, so let's copy the same thing, but instead of that, say of. I think that should work, but I don't know. Just say value in here, F5, and it works here. But again, it's not supported, and if WebStorm tells us that here there is something wrong, then probably you shouldn't be using it. But yeah, it's a new feature. They could add it in ECMAScript 6, but I don't know. So yeah, this works, and I wanted to show you how you iterate over the properties of an object. So we have the document, which is an object, and I can access very easily. So I can say for var property in document. Document holds some information about, I think, the page and stuff like that, but let's just print it and see what we get actually. So prop.log, and we get quite a lot of things which are all a part of the document. But those, again, this is not an array. We're not iterating through the elements. These are the properties of the document. And if in here, I think if I type document and press document, and if I press enter, if I click here, you'll see that now this is this holds information about the HTML, but it had some other properties here as well. On mouse leaf, interesting. That's pretty much all of it for arrays. Any questions? Used pretty much in the same way as in C#. So one key difference is here. I can say while n, which was also a difference in the conditional statements. And inside here, when I for each or for in statement, I have to do it array of value if I'm iterating through arrays, which is a bit weird because this kind of defies the purpose of the for each loop, because here the only thing that we are doing is actually, this is just the index, right? And to do that, I can simply use a for loop and it iterate through there as well. Let's keep going. Okay, arrays, unlike the other things that we've tested, they're almost nothing like in C#. They combine the properties and methods of dictionary, stack, queue, array, what was the jacked array, lists, and so on. So all of that is in a single object, which they call array. And to me, this is really not an array. So you can do all kinds of weird things with arrays, and I'll show you some of those now. So let's do the usual thing and just Control A / add a new file. This is 5 arrays. Thank you. It's been a long day. So yeah, script source equals 5.arrays, and I have to say type equals text JavaScript. Go into 5 and zoom in first, of course. Alright, so the first thing is how you declare arrays, and how you access their values and so on. So var numbers equals, and then this is the literal for array, and inside here I can put 1, 2, 3, or just put some random values, 5, 4, -1. So yeah, this is one way. Another way is to say I am a bit lost. So var array 1 equals array, and inside here I can also list some values. That is fine as well. How do I make an array? So how do I call it? Reset an array, or if I have these values and I no longer want to have them, or how do I initialize an array without values? This is simply numbers equals just brackets, and that's all you have to write to nullify the array. So if inside here I do something like numbers of 2 .log, which one should you expect? The -1, right? Because this is the last element here. And inside here log actually array 1 of 0 .log, and let's see what we get. So this should be -1 and this should be just 1. So 5 -1 and 1, we are fine. And if I try to log it now, so numbers .log, if I do it now, I should be getting the empty array as well. Okay, what else can I do? So inside here, I am just going to use the second array, which was just array 1, which has values 1, 2, and 3. And inside here, I am going to do something like that. Array of 5 equals ABC. Alright. Undefined times 2, because we have two values there that we cannot get, and then we have ABC as a string. So no problem keeping the same values in different value types in the same array. What else was weird here? There was something else which was weird. I can't recall what that was. I'll pause for a second. Weirdly enough, I can do array 1 of bunny equals 1, which is going to be fine. And when I say array of 1, I am going to get 1, 2, 3 undefined and then ABC. But this one, let's put it something else. Array 1 of bunny equals I don't know, 100. Array 1, well, we don't see it here, but I can access it, and I can say array 1 of bunny, and it's gonna give me 100. So it's in there. It's not hidden or anything. Just we don't see it here. But yeah, actually, if I put in some more values, something like I just want to check something. Actually, why not in a for loop? But you know, that's why not by hand. So array1, we still get that. So let me put it in a for loop. This thing. I just want to check something. So let me reset it here. Array1 equals empty for var I equals 0 up to I less than or equal to 100, I plus plus. And then I want to say array1 of I equals 0, just to fill it in with some values. Alright, this is what I wanted to get. And can I actually make them less, because I don't want to scroll down too much. So F5 array of 1. No, let's keep them at 100 then. Alright, and now F5 array 1, and now if I say array 1 of bunny equals 100, and I say array of 1, yeah, there it is. You see, array of bunny is 100. There, I can see it there. It's in the object array. But I couldn't see it in the other way when there were less elements, because I don't know why. But yeah, but it's in here. If I put a different value, hello, it's still gonna work the same. So we have zeros here, and then we have bunny, and that's hello, and that's not a problem. One thing that I should mention also is how to make multi-dimensional arrays, and they're nothing different from just an array inside an array. So if I want to do something like var matrix equals, and inside here I have to say 1 2 3 comma 4 5 6 7 7 8 9. This is how you access the array. Sorry, this is how you make a multi-dimensional array. Nothing special there. What else? Let's do press F5. You have the regular length here, 101, since we have 100 zeros and then a bunny. That's why they're 101. Also, let's check what else we have here. Instead of going through all of them, since you've seen them, I'm not going to do that. We are just going to have a quick look at them. They're pretty similar to what we have in C#. So array1 dot constructor has property. Okay, so we have length. We have toString, and let's go down maybe. Those are a lot of them, and they're not array-like. So inside here, array1, yeah, those are a bit less. I don't know why we have so many inside here. That's a bit weird. Sorry? Never mind. Yeah, we have a lot of these. But instead, I'll just show you here, because here there are less. Okay, so we have the concat. We have the constructor, which we don't care about. We have every, which was like a lambda expression in C#. Every was, I think, where in the lambdas in C#. We have for each, but I'm not going to show you anything right now because it has to do with functions and callbacks and so on. We have index of, which works the usual way. We have join, which I think is your favorite method. So if I do something like array1.join of comma and space, and I want to log this, and let's make them a bit less, so something like 30. Yeah, this is your favorite method from a C#, where you have an array and you can just print all of the values without having to use a for loop. What else do we have? Array1 dot. Okay, so keys. Interesting what that is gonna do. Array iterator. Interesting. nothing that special. I thought that it was gonna give you keys like in a dictionary, like bunny and then the indices, but it's not gonna do that. Okay, so pop, push, reverse, shift. So shift and unshift are like putting a number at the beginning of our array. Unshift removes it. We have sort, we have slice, we have splice. You can just look all them. So slice removes a part of the array. Splice is this really weird, horrible method that breaks one of the rules of what was it? Cohesion? No. Anyway, so this method splice, what it does is it removes a couple of elements. It can add additional elements to your array, and it returns them as well. Returns the elements. So it's like a method it's like the magical method that does everything. So what rule was that? I don't remember. So cohesion, was it? Where everything has to do a specific purpose. This method splice does it all. If you want to think of it this way. We have toString, we have unshift, value of, and so on. So these are the ones that you have. They're pretty limited. Do you have add? It's push. So the very simple one, like if I have var array2 equals 2, 3, 4. Now if I say array2.push, something like a 10 is gonna give you the 4. Actually, let's do it here. Actually, let's not. It's gonna waste too much time. And now if I say array2, it's gonna have the 10 in the end. Okay, if I want to say array2 dot shift and something like a 0, I say array2. Now it has removed the 0th element, and if I want to say array2 dot unshift 0 again, maybe array2 is gonna add it in the end. So this is like the stack in C#. These two methods specifically. Unshift, I know for a fact that doesn't work in all browsers. Shift does. So we have push, we have shift, we have pop. So array2.pop, I think, removes the last element, and as you can see, returns it as well. So we can get it and do something with it if you want. And now if I say array2, we don't get the 10 in the end. So we have methods like this. I think all of these that I've just shown can be done with splice, because it removes, it adds elements from one index to another index. It's a pretty weird method. So every time when I look up at some code, and I see this method splice, and I just don't want to read anymore. But sometimes sometimes you have to use that because it's just a simple line. It's simpler and so on. But very, very hard to read. So if you do something like JavaScript splice, and we go to our favorite website for HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, so here we have fruits. Banana, orange, apple, kiwi, and mango, and fruits.splice. It looks something like this. 2, 0, lemon, and kiwi. Okay, so I guess this is gonna remove 2 elements starting from 0, and it's gonna add these 2, but I really don't know. It's is it the other way around? Starting from 2, removes 0 elements and adds lemon and kiwi. So somewhere in the middle, or not. Let's actually read and not guess. So syntax, index. So from index 2, how many do you want to delete, and then the ones that you want to add. It's a very weird method. But yeah, anyways. I guess that's all. But the ones that you have, they work the same ways in C#, like index of, like reverse, and so on. So if I do it here. I really don't want to bother with demos that much because we've already done those in too much detail in C#. So array2 now has this value. If I say array2.reverse, we are going to get this. So yeah. Okay. Actually, I want to try something as well. Yeah, it saves it as well. If you remember with arrays, It didn't just work to just say, array dot reverse. You had to save it into a new array or do, or so yeah, in C sharp, if I type something like this, it's not gonna act on the array, I think, or it was something for lambdas or something. You always had to save the new result. So var sorted array equals array 2 dot sort. Otherwise, it was not gonna sort them, I think, or it was something like that. I don't remember it all now. Yeah, now it's sorted. Okay, any questions about arrays? Kind of arrays. Sorry, we did. Yeah, well, yeah. It's just a matrix. Nothing, nothing special there. I mean, we can access an element. I actually don't remember how this thing is done, but I can, maybe it's either like this or like this. I don't know. Maybe it's this way. So, log. We are printing too many ways, too many things. So let's put it here, and I can. What can I do? It's 2 and 0th row and first element. Interestingly enough, if we do it this way, I really don't know. I don't remember syntax in general. 0 to this gives us 4, 5, and 6. So this gives us this element, the first row. It gives us the first row. So if I do something like this, it should be the same. I can access the whole first element. Yeah, it's the same. But yeah, 0 and 0 and then 1 this way. Sorry? Can we access just a column? 1 0. No, this is just gonna give you a. I don't think so. No. I don't think there is a way to access only a column. Empty brackets, then 1. This is not gonna work. No, I don't think you can do that, but you can easily do it with an iteration through the matrix. Okay, I think that was about it for arrays. Functions. Functions are similar to methods in C#, declared by the keyword function here, and instead of just private, static, void, and so on, just type in function, the name of your function, and then you can start using it straight away. Interestingly enough, functions in C# are used for functions in JavaScript are used for many things, including constructors, making objects, callbacks, and stuff like that. So it's this function keyword you'll be seeing a lot if you type regular JavaScript, but yeah, so it's not just what you're used to as in C#, but can be used the same way. So there is no function overloading, which is a shame. It can be faked by using optional parameters in TypeScript, or checking the arguments length, which is even worse. Like check how many arguments you have and then act correspondingly depending on how many you have. This is really terrible. Normally, if you're using pure JavaScript, all parameters are optional inside the function, so you can just skip them, use them, and so on. But yeah, other than that, it should be fairly simple. So just delete that. JavaScript file. This is going to be number 6, and it's going to be functions. Before we start, what do you say? Have a break. I don't know how long has it been. Probably enough. So yeah, we'll do functions, and after that we have one very short demo about objects, and that's gonna be also no more than, I guess, 15 minutes more or something like that. Alright, a couple of ways to declare a function. So the first one is just with a keyword function. We are gonna say print logo, and that's all. So you only have the keyword function. You have print this is the name of the function, and inside here we can just say something like hello 1, or just, I don't know, hello .log. And now how do I call it? Actually, I have to control/this. How do I call it? Well, I just say print logo this way, and now in here we should be seeing this hello. So this is the first way. Interestingly enough, you can keep functions in variables. So something like delegates in C#, but here you simply just say var func1 equals function print logo2. Yeah, old habits. Then I have to say hello again the log, and now let's just run it. And if I say func1 this way, it's gonna say hello again. Instead of calling it, I can tell every function to call itself after execution, and this happens with brackets and then semicolon. So if I don't call it now, as I did inside here, func1, it's still gonna execute on its own. So this is something that it's not available in C#, I think. These are called immediately invoked function expressions, or immediately invoked function expression, EFI. And yeah, this is how you do it. So if you type a function which needs to execute straight away, you just add the brackets and the semicolon, which can become very ugly. So if I type it in something like this way on a single line, you see what's going on here. You know, it's not that fun, especially if inside you also have something like a lambda expression, and you just have like 10 brackets with semicolons in between. It's not fun. Another way is just to say func2 function, and I can just not give it a name. So this is like anonymous functions that we did in C# or anonymous types, where I just don't need to say a name, because it's, I don't need to give it a name because it's already stored inside the variable. And to make stuff simpler, I'll just use the EFI syntax. So inside here I say and again .log, and you can see that we are gonna see this as well. There is another way also, and that's gonna be var func3 equals this one was a bit weird. I've never used it, so I have to look it up. New function, and inside here, interesting enough, as a string, console.log hi. Let's see if now it's gonna work. So let me get in here, func3 this way, and it says hi. The one that you should prefer is I would use this one, because you already give it a name in a variable, or most commonly you would use this way. Just say function, the name, and then do whatever you want to do inside the function. Alright, what else do we have? So input that as well, .log. What else do we have? You can also add parameters the way you would expect. So function multiply to, actually let's just compare to numbers. Please notice that here I'm using camel case for my functions. That's how they are done in JavaScript, which is weird because they look the same as variables and a ton of other things. But let's now get into quality code in JavaScript. I support the thesis that there is no such thing, but who knows. Right, so inside here I can say number A and number B, and let's, yeah, inside here, if A bigger than B, I can say A is bigger. That gonna work? I hope. Else B plus is bigger with a space here. The log. And now if I give it, so compare two numbers and then I give it some values like 2 and 5, it's gonna work as you would normally expect. 5 is bigger. If I do it the other way around, 5 and 2, it's gonna go into the else statement. Let's change, let this be like 7. 7 is bigger. Works for both. Alright, what else is there? You can also return values, so something like I can say inside here I can say return A, and inside here return B, and I can actually store, so var result equals compared to numbers of 7 and 2, and it's going to store the value that I have from my function. So now I'm still going to get this 7 is bigger because it's console.log, but if I say, how did I call it, result, it's still going to be 7. I just keep and store the result from my function. So right, the other thing was how to imitate constructor overloading, which is completely terrible. So function imitating overloading, and inside here I'm not gonna have anything, and let's say switch arguments dot length, and inside here if it's 1, so case 1, what do we want to do, console.log arguments of 0, case 2, I'm sorry, I need to have a break here, so same syntax, case 2, console.log, we have 2 variables now, and let's leave it there. So let's see what's gonna happen. So let's press, sorry, break, thank you, break. So let's see what's gonna happen. So I am just gonna run it, and then we are gonna call this, how did I call it, imitating something. It was imitating overloading. If I give a value of 1, if I give a value of string, still works. If I give it something else, it does the other thing. But this is really a horrible way of doing overloading. TypeScript provides a solution where you can have optional parameters with a question mark, but this makes things easier, I think, because you can really say if you want to have a bunny and you have different, so I am since this is from the TypeScript lecture, I'm not going to go into detail, but let's say that you have var bunny equals new bunny, and inside here it's actually going to show you, well, you have to have this, and this parameter, and after that you have some optional ones, and you will know that you can initialize your bunny with either those three or more, depending on what you need. We'll use that a lot when we get to tweens in Phaser, but yeah, there is a way, and it's not this one. There are a couple of more, but I think this one was the easiest to understand at this point. Even if I put a couple of parameters here, none of them will be compulsory. So inside here, compare two numbers. If I go back here, compare two numbers, and I just give it one value, it's gonna be fine. It's still gonna work. If you remember in C#, you had to keep the signature, the specific signature of the method. Right here, it's fine. You can do whatever you want. I can make it with 2. It's gonna work. I can add strings. I can add an array if I want to, and it's still gonna work as usual. It's just gonna take those 2 that I have something for. Right. Okay. And finally, we're going to objects. Objects. So objects in JavaScript are different from C#, and I wouldn't say really that different, but you know, there are some differences. Yeah, you can give an object a set of attributes, properties, and actions. So this was the different thing. So if we had, I'm not sure in C#, if you have an anonymous type, something like var bunny equals new and then brackets, and then we start saying, well, name equals something. I'm not sure if we can give methods there, but yeah, I guess you could, but I've never seen it. So and there was never the need for it either. Syntax is similar to anonymous types in C#. So let's do a quick demo for that as well. So JavaScript file 7 objects, and inside here I have to add it. Script. This is going to be source number 7 objects type text JavaScript. And inside here, how do we make objects? So var person equals, and then just open up brackets, similar to C# again. Inside here, I can say first name equals fuzzy, last name, this is a comma, please, last name equals wuzzy, age equals, I don't know, 5, and that's pretty much it. Okay, this is fine, and now I can say this is not a person, this is a bunny. And then I can say bunny dot first name dot log, and we should be seeing it here, fuzzy. Right, but inside here I can also give methods, and this should be or functions. This should be no surprise to you, because we saw just like in the functions that I can just give a function to a variable, which is going to be fine here as well. So I can say something like to string for bunny, just so that it's not the regular to string, and inside here I can simply say function, and inside it's going to be something like bunny dot first name plus bunny dot last name plus bunny dot age, and I have to add some spaces in here, so copy that, paste it in here as well. .loc. And now if I just say bunny.toString, or I can just return it, you know, this would be better, return, and I can say bunny.toString for bunny, and it's gonna do that as well. So yeah, this is it for all objects. I am going to show you something that could be useful in the other lecture about object-oriented programming or how to imitate it in JavaScript. So instead of doing that, I'm going to create a new bunny. So var bunny, and let's say that I don't want to have specific values here. I want to have them given from the outside. So let's just 1 second. Yeah, instead of having this, I am just going to say return, and I'm going to put all of this inside the function make bunny, and I am going to give it first name, last name, and age. And inside here I can just say this dot first name, this dot last name, this dot age. Of course I have to put the brackets in here and here. This dot age, and toString is first name, last name, and age. And this is how we make a bunny. So let's see. What does this do? This makes us a bunny that I can store in a variable. The keyword this, I think it points to, at least this is what I have in my demo, it points to this first name. I think, let's see. So let me execute this inside here, and let's say make bunny, and I actually want to store it in a variable. So I am gonna say var bunny clone is gonna be make bunny, and okay, first name Pesho, second name Peshov, age 24. Okay, and I can say bunny clone dot first name undefined. Why is it undefined? Just give me a second to fix this. I got it confused a bit. So inside here I have to give a reference to this first name here. So this points to the object that we are returning, and this is not what we want to do. We want to say first name, we want to say last name, and we want to say age this way. And now inside here I want to return this dot first name, this dot last name, which are the ones for the bunny, for the specific instance of my bunny. So let's do that here. F5 bunny clone this way, and now if I do bunny clone, we see that it's an object, has first name Pesho, last name Peshov, and age 24. This is better seen, I think. Yeah, that's pretty useful. So what we did just now is like a method which creates an object bunny, which is similar to saying var in C# syntax. So C# syntax, syntax. This is similar to var or bunny equals new bunny Pesho, and so on. Instead of that, we just do it with a method which creates it for us. All right. Any questions about functions? Pretty similar. You have the same return here. You can give. So this was about functions. You have pretty much the same stuff. Return. You have parameters for the object. They are not similar to C#, but yeah, this is how you use them, I guess. Yeah. Is this the way to imitate a constructor? Well, this is one of the ways to imitate a constructor. There are three ways, I think, in C# in which you can imitate object-oriented programming. This is one of them, which imitates a constructor and making your object at the same time. Yeah. If I have to, I'm not sure about this, but now if I want to add a method to my, no, this is not going to happen. Yeah, I wanted to show you something, but I don't think it's going to work. Maybe here, if I want to say bunny.prototype, and inside this prototype we can add, methods and so on. But we'll do that next lecture. I really don't want to extend this further. Okay, so any other questions? No, everything is fine. You see, it's not that different, and it wouldn't be different from most of the languages if you know a couple, like C, C++, C# as well, Java as well. You have the basic structure, but it's really simplified, which for some junior developers it could be okay, and it would be fine because it's so easy and so simple to write code in JavaScript, but also it allows for different mistakes, weird behavior, and all of those cons that I gave you there. So most people that come from a normal language, and I really mean and stress on normal, they kind of dislike JavaScript because it's so simple and you can make many different weird things with it. Homework: rewrite the first two tasks from every lecture in C# part 1 in JavaScript, though. It's not gonna take you a while. The first two problems are always very easy, like print your name and so on. It's good to have and to do this homework specifically, because when we get to Phaser, it would be expected that you know how to write JavaScript, because it's going to be useful. If you want to, you can also check. I added as optional here. So optional. Check and test all methods for strings and arrays. This is going to be a really good exercise as well, because I mean that they're like 7, 8 methods. It's not that much of work. But if you do that, you'll see some weird stuff about some methods, which ones are in JavaScript, which ones aren't. And it's going to be a lot easier for us once we get to Phaser. I'm going to assume that you've done that, or at least you've read what can we do with the string, what can we do with the arrays, and so on. So I've shown you the ones for arrays. You can test them. You can do the same for strings, and there are not that many. So if you remember in C# when we added the system.text library, I think there were a lot of methods, and we added the link as well, system.link. There were many more. So here I don't think there are that many. You can test them in about 20-30 minutes both, and it's a really good practice. Also, to make a list of the key differences between JavaScript and C#. So just like a cheat sheet, so that once you start typing and you're wondering, well, that was in C# this way, how is it in JavaScript, so that it will be easier for you just to check your table or check your list. So that you can transfer easier from C# to JavaScript. References, and then questions if you have any questions. So next time is going to be JavaScript object-oriented programming. I don't know of the 3 ways which ones am I going to show you, because in the end we are not going to use any of them. We are going to use TypeScript. So there is no point in doing all of the weird imitations of object-oriented programming in JavaScript. That was it. Thank you, and I'll see you on Monday.